Steve Gardner from USA Today does a great job covering baseball. And you're out in Houston right now, so we appreciate a couple moments. How you been, pal?
Doing great, Rich. This has been one heck of a series already, and it's super competitive now that it's 1-1.
Anytime you have a team that goes on the road and wins, now you got a series. And Jansen the other night showed that he's human. He was finally able to, I should say, he showed that he's hittable. Were you surprised? I'm wondering. Let me ask you this right away: the pitching matchup. So, the way I'm trying to factor it in my head, did Hinch already come out and say, no matter what, that they wouldn't throw Kuchar or Verlander on short rest, or Keuchel and Verlander on short rest? I'm thinking golf for a second. Did he say that at all?
No, it's going to be Charlie Morton in Game 4, and then so in Game 5 you go back to Keuchel and 6 Verlander, and then if it does go 7, tonight's starter Lance McCullers will be scheduled to start that one.
So what if, for argument's sake, say if the Dodgers go up 3-1, if the Dodgers win the next 2 games, and then you're looking at Sunday, and you need, or even in the Dodgers case, right, if they fall behind with Kershaw, you don't see an instance where they would throw one of those guys on short rest?
It's possible, but, that's where we talked about Kershaw having his problems in the postseason. Most of that throughout his career was when he came in and pitched on short rest and couldn't go, past the 6th inning and ran into trouble at the 7th. So I think that's where even the Dodgers have to realize that it may not be the best idea to force their guys into short rest. I mean, they had plenty of time to get everybody rested through before this World Series began. But still, I think because we know we're going to go at least 5, that there's no sense in pushing anybody up at this point.
Last one on the World Series. I want to move on with a couple managerial moves. Who did you pick before the series started? I'm just curious. Who'd you have?
I had the Dodgers winning in 5. I thought they'd win the first 2 in L.A., have the momentum coming into Houston, and finish it off here. Right now, that doesn't look like a very good pick, but then again, this whole postseason has kind of baffled me, so I'm not surprised if I end up being wrong.
Hey, it would be something that Kershaw's got to extend the series, or he can has an opportunity to close out the series because of his postseason track record. And again, he can kind of rewrite it for himself, so to speak. All right, let me get into a couple things. The Yankees basically, listen, they fired Girardi. They decide they're not going to bring him back. From what I was told yesterday, it seemed as though there was really a disconnect between Girardi and Cashman, and it was really Cashman's doing. I mean, he got the blessing from Steinbrenner. I'm a little surprised because he still had question marks regarding his contract. We knew Joe's contract was done. Do you think this had anything to do with money? Because I was looking at how much some of these guys are getting paid, and it's not like his salary. I think he's top 4 in baseball, and he was only making $4 million. Madden was making $5 million. Sosa's making $5 million. Bochy was making $5 million. So do you think money had anything to do with this?
I really don't. I think that it's more along the lines of who Cashman feels comfortable with. And obviously there's a little bit of a disconnect there. The Yankees wanted Girardi to be more personable and not be so by the book and all of that. And I think they're going to look for somebody who can be more of that public facing, and also somebody who whose ideas fall more in line with what the front office wants to do. And I thought Girardi did a fine job. I thought that was a really odd move. I mean, I can understand it from the Yankees' point of view and wanting to make changes. From a baseball standpoint, I thought Joe Girardi was a fantastic fit for that Yankees team and the Yankees personnel. And we saw it postseason. They went further than anybody thought, at least anybody that I know felt they had the right to go. And it was a fine job by Girardi. The young players stepped forward, which did not happen in Boston with John Farrell.
Right.
And that may have been part of why he was fired. I thought Girardi did a great job. He's going to land somewhere, and he's going to make somebody pretty happy.
Yeah, and listen, I know when someone mentioned that the Yankees want to go by someone with the book, I mean, come on. If anything, Girardi sometimes got criticized because he went too much by the book. I don't want Don Mattingly. I can see a guy maybe like Flattery or Kevin Long That's fine. I have no desire to bring back a guy like Don Mattingly, but you brought up a great point. You said Girardi's going to land on his feet. My goodness, if the Mets or the Boston Red Sox had any inkling that this was going to happen, they're probably kicking themselves. But let me bring it to the Phillies for a second. I know they're rumored to have 2 or 3 candidates that they're really looking at, guys that have had several interviews. If I'm the Phillies and or the Washington Nationals, I make that call yesterday. I called Joe's agent up, and if you're the Phillies and you can spend and you can bring in Joe Girardi, I think it brings instant credibility to the franchise.
Yeah, I think so. I most definitely, here's a guy that is won and has a playoff track record, and somebody can provide, again, mentoring the young players and bringing them along. You look at the leaps that Gary Sanchez and Aaron Judge made. Didi Gregorius is another guy that has been outstanding under Joe Girardi's tutelage. So, yeah, the Phillies, that's exactly the kind of guy they want. And for the Washington Nationals, my goodness, Joe Girardi would bail them out big time after firing Dusty Baker. I saw nobody on the horizon when Baker was let go that the Nationals could possibly turn to save face. And I think the Yankees have just gift-wrapped something in their lap. Again, like you, I think the Nationals should have made that call already.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's you listen. You look around, and sometimes people want to make the narrative the money. Sometimes every head coach, manager has a shelf life. Parcells said it for years. Guys have shelf lives. All I can say in closing is this kind of reminds me of when the Yankees got rid of Showalter and they brought in Torrey. And let's be honest, Torrey was a great player, but his track record as a manager wasn't very good. And then he kind of fell into place, so to speak. And then look what happened. He had a shelf life. And here's a guy that's beloved and won multiple World Series.
Well, and it's not like the cupboard is bare for the Yankees right now either. They're in position to win and win, for a couple of years down the road now with that young core that they have. So, yeah, whoever the Yankees bring in, and maybe that's the thought, is that it doesn't necessarily matter who they bring in. They could bring in, not a low-profile kind of, Tim Naring kind of name, and possibly that's what Cash is thinking. It doesn't really matter exactly who they bring in, just somebody that can do the job, that has his sort of philosophy on the game, and this talent that the Yankees have, be able to carry them through for the next few years.
Yep, and the same could be said for the Phillies as well, with a young team as well. All right, my friend, you got 3 games in Houston. Enjoy it. We might be talking about a new champ come Monday or Tuesday. Appreciate it. Have a fun weekend out there.
Thanks so much, Rich.